It's dead silent. The whole city is quiet. All the war noises have effectively stopped, as everyone is marveling at the fact that the Shrike burst to life and then was cut down in a matter of minutes.
So we need to figure out what we're doing from here, though, because we had discussed a couple of options. Tyrant, go after Gauntlet. And even though clearing that pass is important at this point, it seems like kind of a step backwards and a step down, given what we've been doing.
Yeah, Smokey would be interested in finding our employer first. Only because he knows him personally, and also we're not going back in that system if our employer's dead after what's just been going on in the city.
I want to make sure we're still getting paid.
Yeah, you start asking around for the Jarl, and people are like, I haven't seen Jarl Handra in quite some time, since before the siege. The main gate is still blasted inward, and you do find out that Jarl Handra was killed in the initial siege.
I think Smokey would just kind of be like, well, who the hell's in charge? And would address anybody who's listening.
There's like this uncomfortable silence as everyone kind of like looks around and then just looks back at you guys.
The guy that hired us, Smokey's boss, what's his name again?
Hitmastine.
Mastine. He would make a logical choice to run things, at least for now, assuming he's still alive. He's a major figure in the town. He would be a logical person to encourage the town people to listen to.
A horn blows to signal like approaching riders, but you just turn around and you see like through the gate that's blasted wide open that there's like a single rider approaching the gate bearing an Ebonhearth banner.
I'm gonna go check on the thing that happened.
You approach this soldier. Hey, you're the. Oh my God! You're the guys who killed the thing, the Shrike.
Yes.
You did that?
Yes.
Oh, he's like frozen. Nobody kills the Shrike.
Well, apparently that was a lie.
What can I do for you? Do you need my armor or something? Because, like, I guess you could have it.
Like a report on what your conversation was.
There's going to be a temporary truce for 24 hours. You know those Ebonhearth guys? They're not always trustworthy.
Oh crap, I have that magic item. I just left.
Yeah, so you start issuing some orders, and as these soldiers are kind of hesitating, you hear this shout from behind you. You sorry ingrates better listen to this man.
I cast silence.
So you guys hear, you sorry ingrates better. And then you see Bastion just kind of like, just giving this really rough talk, but you can't hear anything. And the soldiers that you're standing next to are all like, what? What is going on today? This is the weirdest day. Let me get this straight. You want us to mount up and ride out during a 24-hour truce to go fight Gauntlet?
No, you guys are going to stay here. I'm going to take their army, and they're going to follow me, and they're going to leave. I'm going to solve the problem here. You're not going to have to deal with that army anymore. And I'm going to go find Gauntlet, and I'm going to chop off his metal bits. You saw what we did to the Shrike. Why would you think that a small cohort from the Ebonhearth army is going to be a problem for me?
I got nothing. Good luck, good hunting. A third of the lodge is totally caved in. You find Hetmastine working with a few people who include Crow to move some of the rubble off of his shop. I thought for sure you guys were goners. I'm very happy to see you alive.
So congratulations on your promotion. You are hereby appointed as Thane until such time as a rightful Jarl can be appointed to the town.
He's not really, like, shocked to hear the news. I guess I better get to work then. Crow kind of, like, he's looking at you, and you're not wearing your mask anymore. And he goes, you got rid of two of the worst things of my life. I don't know how I'm ever going to repay you. He kind of awkwardly moves in, and it looks at first like he's going to try to give you a hug, and then at the last second, he decides better of it. He kind of clasps his hands and rubs them together and just kind of nods and walks away.
Is there anything else anybody wants to do?
Anything's better than going back in that cave, if you ask me.
Smokey says that, and then looks at the camera. As Jackal is concentrating, you get the sense that Gauntlet resides somewhere there.
All right. So now to persuade an army to abandon their cause and follow me instead.
Smokey, while you're kind of walking around, what are you doing during this hour that Jackal is kind of meditating?
I'd probably just be smoking my pipe.
A drow woman comes in and stands by you and starts kind of plucking at this harp. She smiles at you. What flavor is that?
This here. This is a favorite of mine. It's called the Whisper Marsh Waste. It's a real strong flavor. You have a taste for the pipe?
This one here is called Hiran's Hash.
Well, I've never had the hash before, if you don't mind, as I'm kind of scooping what's left out of mine.
Someone who helped defeat the Shrike right here in Cloudhenge probably deserves it. And she sort of looks around, and as she's kind of looking around, you notice a patch on her arm that is the same patch Bastion Warclutch is wearing. Since I started this little ragtag group of people, I've been calling myself Guyaka.
Are you enlisted, Guyaka?
I'm sort of a half-founder, actually. Along with Bastion and a couple other people, we're sort of calling ourselves Bellator's Brigands. We're sort of a army for hire, I guess you could say, although oftentimes we find a cause that we believe in and we'll stick it out, even without pay. It was something that General Bellator had instilled in all of us, was that if you find a cause worth fighting for, you'll fight it anyway.
Well, I've got somebody you'd probably like to meet.
She looks over at Tyrek and recognizes him probably immediately. And Tyrek, you don't entirely recognize her right away. There's like a moment that you have when you actually put the face to her and you realize that her name's not Guyaka, but you knew her as Tali Voss.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Back when she fought in the Cornid Wars with you. But what's even crazier about that is you remember that she died.
You're certainly not a face I ever expected to see again.
Well, I sort of have to say the same about you.
Running's not going to work, so I need to just find my problems and eliminate them.
You sound just like the General.
Hopefully it turns out better than it did for him. So, how are you here? I very much remember you, guts spilled out on the ground as we got overrun.
You're right. I did die. I remember dying. I remember a voice telling me that the time was near. And then I woke up on an island in the Sea of Pay. It wasn't an instantaneous thing. It was some years later that I woke up, found out that the war was effectively over, and I ended up here in El Sierra, and I spent some time in Master's Point. I ended some very dear friendships. Started serving Raylene and eventually ran into Bastion again, who was just as surprised to see me, although I don't know if he found out that I had actually died. And so he and I together formed the Brigands in honor of General Bellator, and here we are.
It's always good to see those from the old crew. Surprised, obviously, to see you, but I'm glad to see that you're here. So, I'm gonna go kill Gauntlet.
Really?
I've had enough trying to hide peacefully from him. I've had enough of him killing off the Havocs like he did to the General, and he started to do with other members of the command. Aside from being a tyrant, he's a terrible leader. I'm gonna get rid of him, and we'll see where the pieces fall from there. Gonna go walk up to the edge of their army, their encampment, just be like, yeah, I need to speak to your commander. You can just let me in.
Hey, what's going on here? We already called a truce. Come on. What are you doing?
I am not from Cloudhenge. 2, I'm going to speak to your commander. 3, it'll be far easier for you if you just let me in now. 4, and I kind of point out my insignia very clearly.
Do you believe this? And then he looks back at your rank insignia and he goes, oh shit, oh, okay. You want to talk to Jimbo back here. Commander Jimbo.
Jimbo.
I couldn't think of a better name.
Yes, I want to speak to LC Jimbo.
I'm just gonna stare directly into his eyes and say nothing.
Dude, it's the creepy dude. Why is he? Oh my god. Okay, just go, please. You guys are led to Lieutenant Commander Jimbo, who looks up from some of his paperwork. What's your name, sir?
I am Havoc Skybreaker.
I thought all the Havocs died.
Do you remember? Obviously, you wouldn't have been in service then, but do you remember the war, the Cornid War?
I was a kid when it was wrapping up.
See, I served back in the war. Fought on the boots on the ground, front lines, all of that. What's going on here now? This isn't what we fought for. These situations aren't what we were trying to establish. This government, this rule, isn't what we were setting up. And I'm sick of it. So, I'm going to offer you a choice, you and your men. You can quit attacking Cloudhenge, come with me, and help set things right. You can disperse and leave, never rejoin the army, never come back here. Or you can try to stop me and try to go back to your siege and I'll kill all of you. I'd highly encourage you to join me. We can go set things right.
And he's like, what exactly do you mean by set things right?
We're gonna kill Gauntlet.
The two other guys that are like in this area, like in direct earshot, they kind of like stiffen, kind of glance back at the lieutenant commander, and he's just like waves them off.
And then I kind of
He's
went,
like-
no, come in. Yeah, you know things have been getting steadily worse since he took over as Jarl, since he started running Ebonhearth. And the sickness he has, it won't stop with polite talking. There really is no cure but to kill him. And since no one else will, I will.
What you're asking me for is treason.
Yes. But
Hi.
sometimes that's the only path forward. You know things are not well. And that comes from the top. That comes from Gauntlet, and he needs to be stopped. And sometimes you have to commit an act of treason to set things right.
I mean, yeah, things really have been pretty shitty lately. Yeah, it's been bad. He calls in everybody, I think, and so there's probably like 20 strong at this particular little section that was posted to kind of keep a watch for the truce. So something's just come up. What do y'all say if we just say fuck this and go hunt Gauntlet? There's this one guy in the back goes, I've been saying that since week 1.
Shut up, Billy Bob. We don't care.
You said your name was Havoc Skybreaker?
I'm Tyrant Skybreaker of the Havocs.
We'll stand with you. All right?
Fantastic.
What do we do?
So first thing we're going to need to do is to get everyone patched up and in good order and rested up. Tomorrow we'll plan to march out and we'll strike. I'm not going to put all of you in danger like that. I'm going to choose a team out of you to get us right there into his camp and into his command structure and strike and take him down. Cloudhenge, while they certainly need help rebuilding, will understandably not be ready to accept help from you yet. In time, I believe they would, but I don't think that they'd be prepared for that switch quite yet. So we'll withdraw a little farther away from the town tonight, and we'll work out exactly who we're going to take, essentially as a messenger and escort. Will be the cover that we'll work in under to go back to Gauntlet's encampment to get us right in there with him and to strike. In the meantime, we're going to work on redefining goals for you guys to build you into the beginnings of a mercenary army who will be working to try to keep this area safer and spread out from here to try and start making the nation safer as a whole. Try and start rebuilding some of that order that's been lacking. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it'll be easy, but doing the right thing usually isn't.
You guys ready for this? And there's like this cheer of assent. So there's a time skip. You guys, there's a montage of you like palling around doing Brooklyn stuff with these Brooklyn guys. And then the one like weird hillbilly dude who turns out to be the smartest one of the group. Hillbilly Bob is talking to Luke. And when Luke starts asking him about magic, he's like, "Oh, you mean like arcane checks? Yeah, I'm all good with that. Yeah." And he like he snaps his fingers and like a flame appears above him. He's like, "Yeah, they kind of consider me something of a wizard. Abracadabra." I've been studying real good. I got that revivify spell. I can bring y'all back from the dead if you die. A couple years ago, probably like, I don't even know, 5-6 years ago maybe. I was asked by a couple weirdos. They're trying to recruit me. Someone named Zanatha, I think.
I think our most effective way to do this, basically to run as an emergency messenger, from the contingent that's been dispatched to besiege Cloudhenge, we should send our some of the actual soldiers from this group, but ourselves in some of their uniforms as well with it to get ourselves into the camp.
You guys are riding east, and you are stopped by a very fierce-looking orc man. Where the hell are you going?
The LC gave us important messages to relay directly to Gauntlet and told us we had to give them straight to him.
You just hand that note on over here.
I can't do that. I was given direct and specific orders by my commanding officer to deliver it directly to Gauntlet himself. I'm very sorry, but I can't give it to you. I have to deliver this directly to Gauntlet. I don't want this.
Oh my god, stop talking.
I don't want to have to end up digging latrines again like I did all month last month. Please, I just need to deliver these messages to Gauntlet. I'm so sorry.
Take a deep breath, alright? Now you tell me.
Okay.
Who's your commanding officer?
I'm with Jimbo's Tweakers.
Okay, I'll see now. If Jimbo really needed to get a message to Gauntlet like this, he'd have put a seal on that there envelope. Let me see that seal, and I can let you through. Oh shit, that's the real seal. Okay, all right. And he turns around and he's like, all right, these guys just little man, go see Gauntlet. You guys are led up to this tent, and you're told that Gauntlet is in there with the commander of the Farinfear mercenaries. The tent flap opens, and out steps a very tall, warforged man with glowing red eyes. What's going on here?
My name's Jimmy. I'm from Jimbo's Tweakers. It causes all sorts of humor and confusion for the men.
Silence. There's a message for me. Why don't you hand it over?
Here you are. And as I reach forward, I'm gonna hit him with a hex as well. With my, hold the envelope out with one hand and just boom.
Hold up.
Yeah, he looks down into your eyes and he's like, Skybreaker. So you got a hex on him in a surprise round, and now it is his turn. He's going to cast Banishment on Tyrant. He mutters an incantation, and suddenly Tyrant goes, and he's gone.
Did you really think you could get rid of me?
His eyes, for robot eyes, they seem to get very wide.
Smokey, finish him off.
Alright. I'll just fire off 2 arrows here then.
I want you to describe to me exactly how it is that you kill Gauntlet.
I think Smokey would spit on the ground, and then before he fires his 2 arrows, he's like, "Suck on this, cocksucker!" And the 2 arrows just collide and smash through his eyeballs in some blinding holy light.
These arrows pierce Gauntlet's head, and his whole head erupts into this kind of glorious golden flame. And there's this terrible, otherworldly shriek, not unlike that when you heard the Shrike die. His soul or whatever resides in that Warforged reacted very badly with the holy arrows that were blessed by Luke.